Hey everybody, it's Doc. Welcome to the channel, and today we're going to do kind of an impromptu video because the weather's sort of nice outside. It is January 1st, and as you know, when you're in the Midwest, all the cool cars get put away for the winter time, but we do need to get them moving, get them running, and today's an opportunity because it's rained a lot lately. Now it's actually below freezing out, so I can actually drive out of here. There's no snow, but it's supposed to snow tomorrow. So today is the only day I've got to get these cars out, get a little running time on them, and get them back into storage for the winter. So let's get going and see if we can get this one started. So this is my 1985 Ferrari 308 QV. There were basically three series of the 308s. There was the original carbureted models that were in fiberglass. Then they brought out a steel body, which kind of morphed into a fuel injection. And that one isn't so desirable because the horsepower also went down when they went to the fuel injection. And then the QV is the Quattro Valvoli, which is 4 valves per cylinder, and that brought the horsepower back up to the original 250-ish. Obviously this car's 40 years old, so I don't know if it still has 250 horsepower or less, but it's a pretty cool car. And it's not perfect, but that's kind of the way I like it. It's got some little flaws here and there. And I haven't done a full video on this yet because I'm still learning stuff about this car. So we're just going to get it started up, let it warm up, and then we're going to take it for a little spin. And then I'll show you another cool car in my collection, my Merkur. Okay, so as you can see, the car is plugged into the battery tender, which all of my cars are plugged in. If they're not moving, they're usually plugged into the battery tender, and that's a good thing because I've had batteries last up to 14 years using tenders consistently. And okay, so the first thing to know about this car is that it has the worst floor mats ever. It's probably folded up every time that I've gotten in and out of the car. And so about 2 weeks ago, when it started really getting cold, or it had sat for a while in the cold, I tried starting the car and it wouldn't start. It cranked and cranked and cranked and cranked. I'm like, what on earth is wrong with this car? So I got onto Ferrari chat and I dug around thinking, really, this car's mechanically started all summer long. Why is it not starting now? And what I found out is if you manhandle the key and you twist it too hard, it actually shuts off the ignition circuit and the car will crank merrily forever, but it won't start. And so I've experimented a couple of times with it and it's worked. So we're going to do a cold start here and see if it works for us today. Magic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this car warm up a little bit and we'll take her for a little spin. So dogleg gearbox, so first gear is down towards me. I'm not starting out in second, which some of you might think. There's no power steering in this little birdie, this little princess. And we're going to take a cruise across the yard because I don't want to get in the soft stuff. The car's dirty, the windshield's dusty. That's just what happens during the winter time. And I live on a gravel lane here, so the nice part about having a car that doesn't have perfect paint on it, especially when you live on gravel, is you don't really worry about rock chips that much because the car is far from perfect. Yesterday this would have been complete mud because it was 40-ish degrees yesterday and it just rained. So we're kind of lucky that it's gotten cold. lovely entrance to the city, the road they don't maintain. Warming up, let's go. It skipped to third like it normally do, but it's not warm enough to do that. Those cars just makes you happy every time you get into it. It's just so analog and so perfect in its feel and fit and function. And you know, it's not perfect, but it's perfect because it's not perfect. Speaking of not perfect, I'll show you the Merkur here in a little bit. We're just going to take a little spin around the block, get things moving, because cars that sit are cars that break, and we just want to keep all the seals lubricated, the oil moving, all that good mechanical stuff. All right, one down, one to go. So we're going over to the big shop here, and that's the cold storage, the heated garage, semi-heated garage like the Ferrari does, because the Ferrari, but it's still a pretty good storage area, and hopefully we're going to stay mouse free. That's another reason to move the cars. So turning things around here, there we go, there's the Merkur. And this is a 1988 Merkur that Patty and I picked up in New York City, and we drove back last summer. If you want to see that video, I'll put it in the links, or I'll try and put a link in right here for you. And then, so this is a really good car. This car, I'll probably jinx myself, this car always starts, always runs really well, and it's just a cool 1980s car, and it's going to get cooler next summer because we're going to do a hatch and big wing conversion for it. There you can see that. That's going to be really neat. So as usual, we have to disconnect our battery tender here. See if I can do that one-handed. I can't. Darn it. Okay. All right, so it's always been reliable in the summer. We'll see how reliable it is at 28 degrees and sitting for a month. Wow, look at that. What a great car. One thing I miss about modern vehicles is heated steering wheels the older I get. But back to how cool this car is. This was a car that was only imported for about 4 years. It's based off the Ford Sierra, which is a super cool Cosworth car. They made a million different variants of them, even a pickup truck, but they're most known for their rally cars. And that's kind of what this is going to become, as far as that's why I've got the big wing project going. But it's just a great car. I paid around $10,000 for it. Patty and I had a great time driving it back, so that just made the entry fee worth it all the more. And it's just been super reliable. There's just been nothing that has gone wrong with this car, and like I said, I'll probably jinx myself, but what the heck. It's got a very soft ride, which I intend on fixing to make it a little bit more trackish oriented, although I don't want to ruin the ride because I really like it. And hear that little turbo wind up. It's not a fast car, but it's a really fun car. And we'll take the same route with the Ferrari. We're just going to take it around the block and see how we do. It's important in the Midwest to get cars out like this when you're well between any storms, because Iowa does spray stuff on the on the roads, and I think it's corrosive. It's not as bad as the salt of the old days, but this car was originally a Georgia car, and it's as rust-free as any Merkur can get. Now it's warming up, so it's feeling pretty good right now. We're going to give the car some beans, even though we're in a residential neighborhood. And again, like the Ferrari, this car is very analog, and the best part about it is it just makes me smile every time I drive it. I love driving this car. We'll take it back, we'll park it next to the Ferrari so you can get a look at the two of them together, because they are 80s icons, and then we'll end this video. Here you go, two of the coolest 80s cars you'll ever see, the Ferrari 308 QV and the Merkur XR4Ti. Both are legends in my world, and I'm very happy to have both of them in my care. I love these guys. So if you guys have stuck around this long, I appreciate you watching, and you guys have a great day. We'll see you out there. I'm having a great day because I get to start these cars. Have a good one.